How's it going, everybody? My name is Dalton. I'm a BMX slash mountain bike slash dirt bike enthusiast. And
This?
This is my 2006 Dodge Sprinter 2500. Potentially the most beautiful vehicle ever created, and this is one of the finest specimens that you're gonna see. She's a little bit rough around the edges, It was a northern van. Just like everything I own, I found it on Facebook Marketplace in the great state of Pennsylvania, where they salt their roads and destroy their vehicles. But that doesn't change the fact that this is mine. Ow! God damn it. That doesn't change the fact that this beautiful machine is mine, it's my home, and it's the only reason why I've been able to just wander around and ride wherever the heck I wanted to ride for the past 3 to 4 years. And it's finally time to give you the grand tour. Welcome to the Vanville, brought to you by Renogy. Okay, now a quick pause before I let you into my home here. I might not be the most talented tradesman, so some of the things you see in here might look a little funny. It's definitely more on the functional side of things as opposed to the aesthetic. With that in mind, ta-da! I have to switch to my phone for this one because my regular camera's lens is not quite wide enough. But we're in. We've got a full kitchen going on, plenty of storage, a full super-sized, king-size bed that's definitely to spec and has a lot of headroom. And of course, easy access to the race car cockpit. No obstructions, no walls. Look at that. We're locked in, ready to drive the most pristine machine you've ever seen. We're gonna start off up here with the first quality of life mod right next to my shoe storage. We have a lever on the passenger seat where if you pull that after you pull this forward, spin this thing around just like so. Push it back, give her a tilt. Now I have a whole living room. I don't know if you can see me. The camera lens is not very wide, like I said. This is definitely a must-do in any van conversion. Even if you don't buy the fancy, like actual real swivel thing. In the previous van, I literally just unbolted these 4 base bolts and then completely flipped the seat around, and that's just how it lived the whole time. That just makes the space feel so much bigger, and you have like a spot to just kind of, plop down, stare at the outside, think about jumping things. Yeah, it's great. Now, speaking of space, in an area that probably caught most of your eyes here, the bed. It's lacking a little bit of headroom and a little bit of distance here. Now, this is mainly due to what's underneath the bed, which we'll go see in a second. But I just want to demo. This is fully functional, very comfortable. I'll bring you with me. Hold on. POV bed entry. That's what you guys tune in for. I also use this as storage quite a bit for like things that I use all the time. Like I'll keep my camera back up there. But, okay, too much rambling. We're focused. Okay, so you need to be a little bit agile for this setup, which is really good for when I'm hurt from my many crashes that I don't have, because I'm the most consistent rider on the planet. But you very easily just climb up there comfortably, no contortionism. Get the platform out, then you push the extendo bit. Oh, I put my blanket on the wrong way, darn it. Shoot, 1 second. Now you just very comfortably get yourself in there, and then you're in. Steering got a very dirty fan because I just came from a motocross race. Yep, this is what we got up here. In reality, I don't know how the camera makes this look, but it is actually very comfortable. The hotter it gets, the less comfortable it gets, but this fan does rip pretty hard. I have it off because it squeaks no matter what I do and how much I clean it. I'll give you a demo. Well, I guess if you have it ripping, it doesn't really squeak, but that's some airflow. Okay, down we go. Ugh. It's definitely a little less than conventional, but you gotta do what you gotta do to make space for a dirt bike, a mountain bike, and a bicycle, and all the stuff required to run those machines. And this was what I had to do. Now, for my next favorite piece of the front compartment, we actually have to go outside. You can see a little bit of it peeking out down there next to the rough spots, but this is what keeps me alive when it is below 30, 40-ish degrees. We've got a little tiny Chinese diesel heater hidden under the seat, lurking for whenever you need it. I think the coldest I've slept in the van with this thing running was 15 degrees Fahrenheit. But now for what's probably the biggest quality of life and travel budget friendly mod that anyone can do, the fridge. Not affiliated with Iceco, they just have very aggressive branding, but actually I have to put my phone down. This one thing I screwed up. I made two locking latches instead of one. They came as a pair. I didn't want to buy 2 pairs. They're very expensive to just like have extras. But ta-da! Again, Yeah, this thing has a dual zone chest fridge. Looking a little sparse because I just got back from a trip. Could make it a freezer if you want. I don't really use the freezer option. I just put like all of my food in both. So you just grab one of these Walmart burners, throw it up there, do all your cooking, and lets me live way healthier and eat the amount of food that I need, because I would go broke if I had to eat out for my freaking thousands of calories that I need every day, because I ride a lot. Yeah, that's basically it for the living area. As you can see, I kept things very simple. No sliding drawers, no overhead cabinets. I like it to feel very open and as simple as possible. I'm not gonna have any drawer sliders breaking, and I didn't have to spend an insane amount of time learning how to properly make them. But it's time to go into the back. Let's see how we make this freaking storage happen. Are you guys ready? Just let me know if you're ready by hitting the like button. Okay, did you hit it? Okay, thank you. Okay, I know you're ready. Here we go. Wow. Look at that. It actually doesn't look that bad. Get back there. Yeah. This is the back. Yeah, I cleared everything out of here just so you could see the structure. We're gonna put everything back in so you can see how it all fits. This is pretty much everything that goes on the wall though. Got random miscellaneous gear and things that kind of need to dry out, like my riding pants. Helmet, 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 another helmet. Filters, I think so. Yeah, those are filters. And random assorted T-handles. Now the star of the show back here is probably these contraptions. They hold on to the foot pegs of the dirt bike, so I can just wheel it in here, pop these on, clamp them up, and then you don't need any straps or anything. Just nice and centered and perfect. Barely compresses the suspension, so I'm a fan. There's also some mountain bike storage. This one isn't as fancy. It's just like you put your axle through it and mount your bike to it like it's a front wheel, and then throw the front wheel on the wall right next to all the slightly messy electrical stuff that I haven't talked about yet. Everything in this van is powered by solar. There's 3 100-watt Renogy panels on the roof. At the moment, they're popping on down, looping around into this thing, which is the first regret that I have from this build. And thankfully, Renogy has solved that problem, but we're not quite there yet. From this thing, which is an all-in-one charge controller, inverter, all that good stuff, the majority of my things run off 12 volt, which is all controlled through this sketchy looking fuse box. Anything that isn't 12 volt runs through the inverter. There's a little house plug on the other side that I didn't show you before. And from that, I'm able to plug my laptop or like a blender or something in if I wanted to use a blender. House stuff. That piece of junk aside, a second regret that you could see very obviously right here. Don't think this stuff is very necessary in the back. It was pretty expensive. It looks nice, but that's about all it's good for. All in all, I think I did pretty good with only 2 regrets for the whole build. We're about to resolve the biggest one right now. Let me go get all the cool stuff. One sec. I'm gonna grace you guys. Since you like the video, you get first person point of view startup of the most reliable, cool sounding, fuel efficient diesel machine in the van game in North America. Take a deep breath, prepare yourself. Here we go. Whew. God, every time. I just get to listen to that every day. You're welcome. Let me go park where all my stuff is. Time to correct a mistake. What we have here is everything I needed to make the most legitimate solar setup I've ever had and get rid of that all-in-one piece of junk. So first up, we have the solar charge controller. That's what takes the power from the solar panels and converts it in a way that this beautiful piece of technology can absorb it and store it. This is a 300 amp hour lithium ion phosphate battery, which is almost double what I'm working with currently with the all-in-one, and triple what I had in my previous van build. I don't know if I have any photos from that, but in the previous build, I had a 100 amp hour lithium ion phosphate from Renogy, of course. That thing got the job done pretty darn good. So I think power-wise, we are going to be pretty chilling. Then next up, we have 2,000 watt sine wave inverter. This is what's going to run my laptop and all like the normal household appliances that you would use at home. Sorry, I parked in a horrible spot for the shadow here. My bad. Then the final piece that we have here, I actually don't quite need at the moment. This is a DC to DC battery charger. Now, I am probably going to use this in the future, but right now I don't have a big enough alternator to actually use that effectively and safely for my vehicle. That piece is meant to take power from the alternator and process it in a way that it can also be stored in the battery alongside the solar, which would have me pretty set, but I don't want to blow out an alternator right now. So that's going into storage. But thank you very much. I'm going to use it eventually, I swear. Let's rip this thing out. I might be wondering why I'm so against this thing, and honestly it's because I'm very disappointed. On paper, it seems like it's just gonna be better in general, you know? It's about the same price as all the separate components. Oh! And it seems like it would save a bunch of time, since you can just, you pick this thing up, put it in, plug it in, and you're good to go. However, like most things that seem too good to be true, this thing is too good to be true. Oh, it's done, it's out. We're broken up. It's time for the real deal. Now give me a moment while I do some thinking so I get this set up perfect.
Lots of thinking and a few other skipped steps later.
Yes, I'm a freaking Ryobi user. Judge me. Look at that. I'm a freaking professional. I've also made a mess, but we're gonna ignore that. It's time to connect some things. We've already made our first cut here. I'm just gonna run from that to the battery, and then I have to think about where I want to run the super thick cables, because you kind of have to crimp the ends on the way you want them oriented. They're not really super bendable, but we're gonna get there. We're almost there. We got freaking mounted things. The battery is kind of in the vicinity I want it. I just have to chop these cables, which is the point of commitment, because I don't have any more ends that will go to the other thing. And yeah.
Even more thinking later.
I did it. Okay, Jay from the future stepping in for a second. I may have forgotten to charge the battery, so I had to come back for this clip. But we have light, and we have a setup. It's looking pretty refined. We've got a bunch of cables, the big red switch of destiny. So I could cut the power to all this stuff. Not so much the solar. I didn't do that for some reason, but it'll buff. But yeah, the goods are turned on, the fridge is ripping, the heater is ready for action with the incorrect time. And here, under the cabinet, is where I place the inverter switch. It yells at you when you turn it on. But now those plugs work that you can't really see because it's really dark under there. Back to you, Past Jay. Okay, it's time. I just spent about 10 minutes dragging all my stuff out from where I had it stored because I was recording this for 2 days because I'm the world's slowest worker. Time to fit all of this. The beautiful Stark Future Varg, the Cannondale machine that I actually haven't debuted in a video yet, I'm so sorry, and the Monday machine, along with other miscellaneous junk. And it all starts with the plank of destiny, the 2x4 of successful loading. We're throwing the dirt bike in first, that's just how it goes. This plank is kind of cheating to load on the plank, even though the plank isn't difficult at all. There's nothing wrong with it, not that I'm talking it down. But the reverse mode definitely simplifies the process. Squeeze yourself over, grab the clamp, you're good to go. We'll grab the mountain bike next. The next most amount of effort. I kind of want to try and figure out a way where I don't have to do this, but it doesn't really seem possible. And I'm not about to run a quick release. I'm not trying to have my wheel fly off when I'm riding. The wheel goes right up here on the wall. Just get a little hook action. Pop that back on and then get it under the rotor. She's good to go. Fake gear on in there. Oh, there's so much more space now. Look at that. There's so much real estate. Oh, yes. I'm so happy. The majority of the things end up in this vicinity, so this is pretty much all clear. I could stuff a bunch more in there, but I don't really like digging through bikes to get what I want to get. I just want to get it. You know what I'm saying? Just step on in. We can pretty much just speed run everything else. There isn't much unique going on. Toolbox. Oh. Look at that. It's almost too easy. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I'm sure some of you have some suggestions for modifications. A shelf up top might be something there, but that wall is not very structural at all. It's kind of just like a placeholder so I could seal around it so I don't get any fumes. But yeah, not too tight, not too much extra space. And it fits everything I need. I guess usually I'd have a gas can in there if I had a gas bike, but it's probably the only thing that's missing. I think that about does it for my house tour and electrical engineering masterclass. I'm sure people are going to ask, so a couple small things to bring up. I am going to talk about the price, kind of. I had a spreadsheet going for a little bit, and then I kind of got demotivated and stopped paying attention to it. I'll start with the one thing I've been tracking since the beginning of this van, which is the fuel mileage. The 2.7 liter Mercedes diesel that's stuffed into this thing gets around 25 miles per gallon. This thing, towards the beginning of its life, had some efficiency issues. So we weren't quite getting that. I've got a pretty light foot, but we're still slightly below for the total average. But after almost 30,000 miles and a year and a half of driving up and down the East Coast, highway, city, actually went across the country and up to Vancouver and back, we averaged 23.5 miles per gallon. Spent a grand total of $4,852 on good old 1202 diesel. Now, beyond just fuel efficiency, right when I got it, I had to do all the brakes and replace a caliper. I had to replace a brake line, some random little oil leaks in the engine bay. I had to do a water pump because it was failing when I was up in Vancouver and I was incredibly stressed out. But the initial purchase price for this thing was $10,000 cash. You might be saying, what the heck were you thinking? This thing is a rusted out piece of junk. But it did have 103,000 miles when I got it, which is unheard of for these things in this year. The motor and transmission on this are pretty much the best I can get my hands on, unless you're trying to spend big bucks on brand new vans and then sell them before they explode because they're all junk. But yeah, I sold my last van, stocked some cash up, bit the bullet and balled out on this thing, and so far so good. It is a bit rusty and falling apart, but it's going to last me quite a while. The other costs I don't have on the top of my head, but I do have the spreadsheet, like I said. I'll put it up on the screen. You could pause and read that. I did go significantly over budget and had zero money left over at the end. So, if you're planning on building your own, keep in mind you're probably going to end up spending more than you bargained for. All that aside, if you're one of the ones who kept commenting and asking for a van build over the past 2 years, and I said, soon, trademark. Thank you for sticking around. I hope that was, what you were hoping to see. It took me a really long time because I was very, very self-conscious about my craftsmanship. Definitely not top tier, but yeah, don't judge me. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate if you dropped a like. Thank you very much to Renogy once again for sponsoring this video. My new solar setup is light years better than what I was working with before, and I haven't even tested it out yet. So if you plan on doing any van electrical action, check out Renogy. They've got some deals going on. You can get that 300 amp hour lithium battery for like $700 right now, I think, which is insane. Yeah, I'm gonna close all this up, and I'm gonna head to Swamp Fest. So I'll see you then. Goodbye.